the welfare, man. But I ain't scared. I can tell it's coming, I can feel it in the air. I can smell it coming, fully prepared to meet the fucking man in the trench coat. I ain't hiding, but trying to duck as long as I can, though. They say I'm flirting with the duck.
There's a lot we gotta talk about. Video may be a little off, 6 hours of sleep in 48, and you know why. If you're a subscriber, there's so much we have to talk about. We're going to talk about the fight, and then we're going to talk about that. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. I cover every fight, major fight live, and now I cover every major fight almost live. You know what? I can say honestly, about 12 hours ago is when I left. I had probably the best experience of my adult life. Why? Because I did it as an entrepreneur. I'm not worrying about no sleep. I'm not worrying about that right now. Like, when I think about people who've gotten what they want in life, I don't think that they let sleep stop them. But before I go on, we're going to say, I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live along with Real Combat Media. And guess what? I cover boxing. Bernard the Alien Hopkins, 55, 7-2, 32 KOs, was defeated by Sergey the Krusher Kovalev. But guess what? We have to give credit where credit is due. First, I have to say, no excuses for B-Hop. No excuses. I see personally how he lost the fight, but listen to me, no excuses. Just like Nassim Richardson said, do not try to defang or declaw Kovalev whether Hopkins won or lost. He was defeated. He took the worst. See, here's the thing. He suffered the worst defeat of his career, but you have people saying he took the worst beating of his career. So that's where I have to put it in perspective. The man is 49 years old, ladies and gentlemen, and listen to me, really honestly, he's 49 years old. And he took the cleanest shots from Sergey Kovalev. He didn't get cut. He wasn't like dazed and confused. And more importantly, he did not get knocked out. So for a 49-year-old man to go 12 rounds against a guy that's never been 12 rounds, and he's been knocking everybody out, credit has to be given. Bernard Hopkins is not done. In my opinion, I'm going to say this clearly, and I know you probably saw it in the title, get Adonis Stevenson now. Get Adonis Stevenson now. Get Adonis Stevenson now. I say B-Hop right now, like, listen, get Adonis Stevenson now. Get it. If there's one, listen, and after Adonis Stevenson won or lost, like, be out. I say he get Adonis. Listen, I can't emphasize it enough. Get Adonis Stevenson now. You know why? Because for some reason, watching Stevenson's performance against Fanfara and watching Stevenson fights and knowing, you know, that right now money is his motivation, B-Hop, listen. You gotta think, B-Hop already has the respect of the boxing world. Fans, media, whatever. You know why? It's because he fought a guy that nobody wants to fight. He fought a guy with one of the highest knockout ratios in boxing at 49 years old. B-Hop has never, think about it. You've never heard of B-Hop ducking any fighters. I'm going to be honest with you. There's fights out there for B-Hop that he could win. Lucien Boutte. Joan Pascal 3. Let's talk about the fight though. Honestly, when B-Hop took that first round knockdown and he got hit on the top of his head, he had that flash and he got a headache. What I'm saying is, it woke his ass up, but oh shit, he hit hard. You can see right there that B-Hop went straight defensive. Now, don't get me wrong. He only landed a little over, if I'm correct, like 165 punches. he landed at a high percentage, around 36%. But Kovalev threw something. Well, Kovalev landed 101 punches more and threw, if I'm correct, like 300 punches more. So what I'm saying is, B-Hop was efficient. He was effective. No, well, he was efficient. He wasn't effective because he didn't win. He was efficient, but the work rate, I could see, okay, this is the first time watching Bernard Hopkins fights that I could see he was concerned about getting knocked out. But at the same time, you have to give him credit because he did something that we didn't expect him to do. There was no clinching. There was no holding. Now, some are saying he wasn't clinching because first time he tried it, he got knocked down. Yes, the inside game. But at the same time, if he would have stuck to it honestly and made it a nasty, ugly, dirty fight, like we thought it was going to be, one of them fights where you can literally get in the bed and be like, all right, so just go off, I'm going right to sleep. But he didn't. Why? In my opinion, Bernard Hopkins is a boxing promoter right now. Bernard Hopkins, even though, if I'm correct, there's only like 5% of Golden Boy promotions, he's in a very, 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 very good spot. Despite Oscar De La Hoya, whatever the case may be, and I'm a big Oscar De La Hoya fan. I'm not even going any further than that. The man used to be like posters on my wall as a kid. Like I'm 31. Like I used to be having De La Hoya posters on my wall. Like listen, Hopkins is in a good situation. He's a boxing promoter. So when it comes to actually boxing himself, there are still fights out there he can win. But at the same time, we have to give him respect for taking this fight. We have to give him the respect for not getting knocked out. And we have to give him the respect for rocking Sergey a few times. Remember, he gave Sergey the stinky leg, if I'm correct, in the 10th round. And then showed us, I believe it was like in round 3, that Kovalev, if you are the type of boxer that can hit him clean enough several times, you may be able to knock him out. Now, listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying that, okay, I'm saying maybe. I'm not saying anybody can knock him out because I know people like to twist all my words up and all that shit. I'm saying that Kovalev, I'm saying that if Hopkins threw 100 more punches, maybe they would have robbed Kovalev. Maybe. And I'm not saying it. I'm not saying I want him to get robbed. No. Don't get that shit twisted. What I'm saying is that B-Hop work rate was significantly lower than it's ever been. Also, looking at him in the ring, he looked like he rehydrated to like 200, like 25 pounds. Now, me, you got to think. I worked my way down all the way to like the floor. So I'm looking at him and I'm like, and then when I get home, I see him on HBO. Because I'm thinking, okay, all right, well, this is my first time seeing like him actual live on this level, up close. But I was at the weigh-in, the 3rd row back. I had an interview, 2 interviews with I'm right there in his face. I was at the media day to workout, and I'm looking, I'm like, well, damn, like how big did he get? So, once again, he's 49 years old. There are fans that are saying he should retire. I understand the logic behind that. It's like, okay, all right, B-Hop, you lost, you're 49, give it up. When you going to give it up? I understand that, but when I look at the boxing landscape right now, and I look at a Stevenson situation, where, to me, honestly, it's clearly motivated by money, I'm thinking B-Hop can beat him. I'm thinking that, because what has Adonis Stevenson showed me? And that's why when Adonis Stevenson fights Dmitry Sukhatsky, I'm going to cover that fight live, and I'm going to really assess. Like, I think that B-Hop can beat him. Now, granted, you have to think that, okay, all right, B-Hop, he wanted to be the undisputed champion of the world. But if he gets that WBC, I'm not saying get a rematch with Kovalev, because Kovalev got 3 belts now. Kovalev, and shout out to John David Jackson, because he took a lot of shit this week, but he is the trainer. And Kovalev was in shape. Kovalev proved many doubters wrong. He was fighting the same way in the first round that he was in the 12th round. He answered a lot of questions, and now I'm officially a Sergey Kovalev official fan. I believe in him. I believe he is the #1 light heavyweight of the world. When it comes to 168, if anybody moves up, I don't know. Get Andre Ward? I don't know. That's the thing. That's the issue now that people go, oh, Andre Ward's going to be. No, I don't. Honestly, my opinion is I don't know anymore. All I know is Sergey Kovalev has shown me something that I did not expect. And my God, Kathy Duluva is beautiful. My God. This was the first time in my life that I covered this event as the media. Many people tried to stop me. I even got a stalker that tried to stop me. They have tried to stop me, and I said, you know what? No matter what, I am getting to that fucking event. I covered every single aspect of the event outside of 2 events that happened in New York. One of them was the second press conference in one day up in New York. I covered the Philadelphia version. The other one was like some media. Hold on. I didn't keys. You know, the final press conference, covered that. Weigh-in, covered that. Had to go to the fight, covered that. Post-fight press conference, covered that. My Bernard Hopkins footage, it's a shame, you know, because, you know, you make mistakes sometimes. My Bernard Hopkins footage, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to upload it. But I got Kathy Duluva, I got Sergey Kovalev talking. You know, I got some good stuff. But, you know, what I really needed, like, I really wanted to zoom in on B-Hop face. But long story short, you know, it's some bad footage and it's not, I can't upload it, you know, because it's not up to the quality of what I've done before. So, I guess I'm saying this. I've noticed that it's people at these events, and me, I'm very observant. So I noticed that there's people at these events, and I'm like, they got passes. And listen, this pass right here, I'm gonna read it to you. I'm gonna read it to you. Let me read this bullshit. Green, okay. The credential was a working pass for Hopkins versus Kovalev, Atlantic City, Boardwalk Hall. Saturday, November 8, 2014 boxing event. This pass is specifically for the person whose name is printed on the front side. This pass is non-transferable and may be revoked anytime at the discretion of Caesars Atlantic City, Golden Boy Promotions, Main Events, or Boardwalk Hall Management. This bearer is entitled admittance to areas according to the color indicated below. Listen to this bullshit. Green, all access. Yellow, press, ringside press area, press room, post-fight press conference. Yellow-green label, press. Apron photo position, press room, post-fight press conference. Red, auxiliary press sections, 300 level, press room, post-fight press conference. Black, only post-fight press conference. What I'm saying to you is this, like, this is like the bottom of the bottom almost. No, wait, okay, there's one below that, and that's black. That means you don't go to the fight, you go to the post-fight press conference. You don't get me wrong, I'm grateful. Don't get me wrong, I'm grateful. But when you got a guy like me that's like literally going there to work, and I'm seeing people sitting in like press chairs, they don't got like no notepad, no nothing. And I'm thinking like, what kind of shit is this? Are they just filling up seats? You know, that's what pissed me off. But no matter what, I was able to work my way down, you know, and get like, you know, like literally I was at a point in time where I could have sat in the 3rd row and literally had been televised, you know, as far as the media section is concerned, you know, but I'm thinking like, I shouldn't have to go through that. When honestly, you know, not to toot my own horn, but I got some of the highest views on YouTube, if not the highest when it comes to this fight. So, you know, I understand, you know, that there's politics behind everything. And, you know, these people don't know who the hell I am, you know. And more importantly, I understand that when I go to these events, these people don't know what to expect. So before, when I used to drink and party and everything, you know, I'm 6'2", 240 pounds. They're probably thinking like, oh, this we don't know. He's probably crazy. Nah, man, I'm going there to work, man. Like, that's a dream to me. So that's why I'm upset. Like when I see people not doing shit. And I'm thinking, look at all the other people that maybe really want to be here and they will contribute to the sport of boxing, but then you here taking up seats. I don't know. I guess I vented. I said that. I got the network with a lot of people, to the subscribers. I remember I used to make promises and say shit and everything like that. But let me point this out. I did what I had to do last year on August the 22nd, 2013, as far as make sure I cleaned myself up. You're not going to be doing the things that I want to do or accomplishing what I want to accomplish when you have issues of the past haunting you. I said, okay, all right, I'm going to do this shit on my own time. You guys want me to get interviewed. You want me to start going to the events. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm going to go to an event every other month, because I'm learning each time. Like the standard is very high for me. And I want you to understand, I'm still somewhat a rookie to all this. So, like I said, with this event, even since I had all access, I wanted to make the impression like, oh yeah, he comes in, he quiet as a kitchen mouse. He come in and do his shit. We see it on YouTube like, oh shit, a lot of views. Simple as that. Simple as that. So it burns me up like when, people just make assumptions. But, I haven't had to deal with that. My time covering our event was pleasant. I didn't run into any dickheads or any assholes or anything like that. And I conducted myself accordingly, as I should, because I'm in a situation where, of course, everybody's watching me. It's people that act like they don't know me, but they get at look. And it's hard for me to believe if I'm getting 1 million views. Well, now an average of 500,000 views a month. It's hard for me to think that you gotta know me. And then when it comes to boxing, I made sure a long time ago that I just spammed YouTube as far as when it comes to every fight, you gotta see my face. And I told you I was gonna do that. I told you. So I'm supposed to get a stripper. And this is what I say about the stripper. She's not exactly a stripper. She'll be dancing, but see, I consider myself to be somewhat of like an artist like Kanye West. So I'm not going to be having just a woman up here shaking her ass as far as with no meaning behind it. Oh, don't get me wrong. She will shake her rump. She will shake her tail feather. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not up here to try to demean women or anything like that. I'm looking for basically an intern, someone that's like, okay, listen, like you do this video and it's going to be exposure for you. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do, but it's going to be exposure for you as far as being a dancer. Now, there's some people and women that be like, okay, well, I don't want to show no titties or nothing like that. I can understand that. But what I'm saying is, as far as the subscribers are concerned, I somewhat owe you that because I can't be the type of guy that says I'm going to do something and not do it. Now, as far as where my life is now, with a child, in a relationship, of course, obviously, it's not in my best interest. But however, that's why I want my brand and my show to be different. So just think about, all the like David Letterman, let's say Howard Stern, all those people when they're on doing their job, they're who they have to be. Then when they go home, family man and all that type of shit. So what I'm saying is, when I promote my first boxing event, I want to have women dancing in the cage. I'm gonna have a live band. I'm gonna talk to my boxers. I'm gonna be like, listen, just don't walk out there on no boring ass shit, man. Now I'm not trying to turn like boxing into the WWE or no bullshit like that. I just want to make sure like we're entertaining, like when you're an entertainer as well as a boxer. Boxing is a deadly sport, but at the same time, I want to make sure you entertain as far as outside of the ring. I want you to be able to sell tickets, the safe way. And then the hard way is what you're doing your job as far as boxing. Simple as that. I got a very vivid imagination. I'm very talented in many things, but right now, I'm overworked, a little bit stressed, reclusive, paranoid. But regardless of that, I have good intentions. So what I want to do is, I guess this is like an open, statement to say like, listen, having this fucking red pass, that doesn't help the sport of boxing. You know why? Because I help the sport of boxing. And giving me restrictions like this is like, how can I cover the event when the 300 section is the highest fucking section? Thank you, Chip. I'm not going to say your last name, but thank you, yo. Yo, you really been helping me. He know who he is. You really been helping me. But it's like, nah, man. Nah. Now, once again, Remember, I'm learning, you know, and I've always considered myself to be a fast learner, so I'm learning as time goes on. So each event, I'm learning something new. You know, I wasn't going to be the type of guy, my first event, I'm going up, putting cameras all in people's faces. I said, okay, each time you get a little closer, get a little closer, get a little closer. No? Logic. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. I am very, very, very grateful that especially everything I've been going through, and I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I want to say it, but I'm glad that people still support me, and I'm sure, obviously, you know, like if I'm trying to accomplish a dream, you know what I'm trying to do, why would I be committing a crime? That's what makes me so mad. It's like, yo, like I really be thinking like it's just some powers that's just trying to stop me from getting where I need to be. But as long as I keep my head straight, stay on the straight and narrow, I'm going to succeed. And I'm at a point in time in my life where I cannot fail. Not one more time. No way. No. I cannot fail. Not again. At nothing else in life, I can't do it anymore. I can't take it. So as far as following through, I'm following through on everything. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. You know, and sleep is not going to stop me because I'll sleep when I'm dead. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm too tired to go. Oh, I'm not. I'm TstreeT Controversy. Oh, this is TstreeT Controversy Live, and I cover boxing. I ain't even washed my ass. Listen, honestly, to be perfectly honest with you, oh my God. Like getting home from AC, oh my God. But see, I can work, I'm sure a lot of you know, I can work a full 24 hours. You know, as far as doing Google Hangout and doing videos and multiple Facebook statuses and everything during the day. What was that? I could do like a full 24 hours if I'm like, you know, like lounging around the crib or lounging around the studio and watching boxing, but actually like working in the field. Yo, I never crashed like that in my life. Like, I'm talking about crash as far as, you know, body-wise. Got in, you know, I posted a picture of my press pads and shit was all upside down. I just had to lay down. I was like, oh, I can't do it. I can't do it, yo. I almost started to cry because then I started having like hallucinations. Like, yo, like that not sleeping, that shit is for real. Then I understand, don't be concerned. I'm fixing my sleep. I just had some issues. You know, but that's not sleeping shit is for real. Like you really start hallucinating. That shit is almost worse than being drunk. Like you don't be knowing, reality be distorted, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it because I know people are like, oh, T, you need to get some sleep. But listen, I know I'm not supposed to be drinking that shit, man. I know, but I need that quick sugar caffeine fix. I'm TstreeT Controversy. I just looked at the clock. I'm thinking it's saying 5:20 a.m., but it's really 5:20 p.m. And I'm like, what did I go to? TstreeT Controversy Live.